Okay, folks, today we're going to talk about something that the Marine Corps used called an IFAB, Interim Fast Attack Vehicle. For those of you in the military may know what these are. They're kind of cool trucks. These are air-droppable and air-liftable Mercedes G-Wagons that the USMC used for the deployments. And we happen to have two of them. Behold, what these are from a number standpoint. Both of these are 2005 Mercedes G270s 461 chassis IFABs. And what that means is you have a two-door long wheelbase, so i.e. a normal wheelbase G-Wagon, but it only has two doors. It has a fold-down windshield and an open back for you to do whatever nefarious activities you want to do. So if you want to mount your machine gun in the back or carry all your buddies to the bar and hopefully they stay put, this is a truck for you. Now, at first glance, it looks like an old clapped out G that's been rotting away in a field. It's been covered up with some paint. It is still camouflaged underneath it, but someone rattle canned it white for some odd reason. Not sure why. And for some odd reason, it does not have a whole lot of miles on it. But looks can be deceiving. Check out what's under the hood. This is modern running gear. This is a 5-cylinder OM612. The same motor that's found in the Sprinters of the same era. So even though the rest of the truck is what's called as a 461 or a military chassis or a worker truck, or as we like to call it, missing all of its creature comforts outside of heat, under the hood you have modern diesel injection. This is a common rail diesel. It burns pretty clean. You have a 5-speed fully automatic electronic transmission. You have ABS, you have traction control, you have a 24-volt system, and you have a 12-volt system. There's a lot going on these trucks. And we have two of them. One of which, as you see, is a builder. And they both run and drive. They're a riot to drive for sure. This one especially, on cold days, bring a jacket. This is the ideal candidate for someone that wants to build their perfect platform truck. Either a beach cruiser, nefarious assault vehicle, or who knows what. But this one is really cool. This is what they look like. Mostly finished. This one is not complete. This one is desert tan. It's got Hutchison bead locks. It's sitting on OEM style wheels. It does have the brush guard up front. It does have the NATO slave cylinders. So if you run up to another military vehicle and you need to get them started, you've got the slave cylinder hookup. Pretty cool. By the way, all military vehicles are 24 volt and they all use a special cable, and that's one of them. Known as a NATO slave cable. You get your cyclonic air filter. We will clean the spider webs off. So bear in mind, these just came in, so I haven't even had a chance to wash them down yet. We're gonna roll them through the shop this next week, take care of all the fluids, make sure they're ready to go safety-wise, and largely fit for road duty. But before we do that, we always drive them at full highway speed because it is a 24-volt system. Anyway, other cool things about this, it has a brand new soft top on it. The back of it is open and still needs to be finished. And we're going to do the wood inlay floor back here. We're going to redo the back seats. We have new front seats, which are tartan plaid, which we're going to install. But this is just too cool to pass up. Glorious. Simply glorious. It looks old, but again, it's modern diesel. Everything works. You've got your military-style headlights. You've got your high, low range, your diff locks. It's all kind of neat stuff. You can also pick 12-volt, 24-volt system, charging at 28 volts. That means it's healthy. I like that. This truck only has 8,336 hours. There's only 2,000 working hours in a year. This doesn't math. Anyway, it has 37,000 kilometers. Anyway, let's go for a drive. And mind you, we always drive stuff straight off the truck at full highway speed before we do our safety inspection. This way we know for sure if something doesn't work. All right, so it's a little noisy in here because it's a soft top, and I had to wait for traffic to go by because I'm a linear thinker and I'm only capable of comprehending two things at once. So first and foremost, the truck drives a lot like a Mercedes Sprinter. It winds up, it goes, it cruises, it's actually got decent power, and it's pretty easy to drive, really. I checked the gearing out on it, it's got highway gears, the same as the G500, so it definitely does not run out of breath as you get up to speed. Driving it is very close to a very well-sorted W460 or 461 from the old years, except I say well-sorted, meaning it feels tight. It feels like everything works very, very well. And the other thing I like about it, unlike all the early 460s and 461s, is the engine and transmission is all factory Mercedes, meaning it works great, it shifts great, it's in the right gear, it doesn't rev out, it doesn't do anything weird, it just goes. It plays diesel engine and diesel transmission like it should. The ideal person for this truck is someone who wants the ultimate beach cruiser or wants to build something that no one else has, and that's where this comes into play. I happen to have two of these here in my shop, and I'm willing to bet there's less than 5 to 10 tops floating around somewhere in the US. I know someone's going to comment saying they have one, which is going to be neat, but these are exceptionally rare, and that's kind of what makes them cool. They drive great, they're reliable. The other cool thing about getting one of these is parts availability is pretty good. Because this uses the same OM612 motor that was in the Sprinter, you can get all the normal stuff. Injectors, gaskets, glow plugs, filters, etc. It's all there, it exists, so it's not the end of the world. Same goes for the transmission. Now, here's what makes this truck different from the inside. We've talked about the PUR and the 280s and stuff like that, but you notice the door is a little different. It's got a kind of a fold-up thing here, but when you roll the window down, yes, you have to do it by hand. You have this rim around the glass, and it means that there is no frame around the rest of the door. So when you open it, you've got no frame. See? It's kind of cool. If you really wanted, you can probably take the door off. Certain marine elements would take the doors off so they can exit as a quick attack vehicle also. Now, other things you're going to notice is it's got these cool hooks, and you can fold the windscreen down all the way, as well as if you are, part of a militia and getting ready to mount your assault attack, you can have all your machine guns mounted, have the windshield down so you don't break the glass. It's just another thing. One thing this truck is missing is the support from the top side back to the center here, and it acted as a support if you were to pull the top off and want to put additional gun mounts up there. So this is first and foremost a military vehicle that's been adapted to civilian use. It also has the sling mounts underneath so that you can load it inside of a Chinook helicopter and strap it down, and it's air droppable, meaning you can have the sling mounts so you can put your parachute on it and drop it out of a helicopter, because why not? It's what you got to do. Living with one of these on a daily basis? Well, it does not have air conditioning. To answer that question, no, it does not have air conditioning. Do you need air conditioning on this? No, it's a soft top. That's why the windows go down, the top comes off. Anyway, I hope that point went home with some people. Fuel economy wise, I'm going to guess it's somewhere in the middle. I don't know if it's good or it's bad, but I doubt I'll have the chance to drive this around very much, as it's going to disappear fast. I know it will. Aside from that, we can add a radio to it, but what would be cooler is if you added a SINGARS or a ham radio or something really cool like that. This is something that's important to consider with your next G-Wagon build. We get a lot of questions regarding these early 460s and 461s. The question is, if it's a diesel, how clean is it? And to answer that question, this one's not bad. A lot of the early ones where you're on a high power 606 or 603 or something crazy like that with big pumps and big turbos, the downside of that is they're dirty. You get a lot of soot and stuff out the backside of the tailpipe, and it kind of makes for an unpleasant ride. Some people don't mind it, some people do. This one, because it's modern common rail diesel, you have the ability to mitigate that through proper tuning and proper emissions regulation. This one does have a catalytic converter and an EGR system, but that's about it. And because of that, it is much more livable. I'm going to give you a full throttle takeoff so you can see exactly what it looks like. So as you see in that video, I did a full throttle acceleration run. It wound up But the key thing is it's not dirty, it's not stinky. And that's one of the things I like about these newer trucks, especially like our last one, the PUR, this is 270. It's modern diesel injection, so you don't have to deal with all the old soot. So if you've got a family or kids or someone that you're ultimately gonna put in this with the top down, it's a serious consideration that I take very seriously. So, what's not to love about this? It's gorgeous. So let's look under the hood real quick. Like the other one, this one needs a bath, but it is the 2.7 liter or the OM 612 5-cylinder diesel. This is the same motor that's found in the Mercedes Sprinter vans from the same era, which means parts availability and serviceability is all here. It's all ex-military stuff, so it's pretty stout. You've got your two 24-volt batteries, you've got your 12-volt battery up there, you don't have air conditioning, you've got your radiator, you got your coolant, you got your oil dipstick, you got your transmission fluid dipstick, you got your brake fluid and your diff locks, and power steering. Now you know. Anyway, enough about that. Inside, though, is pretty neat. We do have a set of plaid seats that are going in this. Currently, we're riding around the old military buckets with these fun little holes, so if you decide you want to go on a long road trip and not stop for breaks, you can just simply pee your pants and drain it out through there. I'm kidding, don't do that. That's really gross. This is so if you leave it out in the rain, water can drain, folks. Jeez, don't be disgusting. What we do have, though, is a set of plaid seats that are going to go up front. We also have a plaid back seat that's going to go in this. It just complements the interior and exterior of this. And it's really clean. But as you can see, someone took the time. I put this in there so you don't scratch it. But we're going to have to put down grip tape and clean all this up. It is actually really, really nice. I would like to not have to do a whole lot to this other than some minor cosmetic refresh things and just tidy up all the mechanicals. It still has the military doors with the metal thing here and no back doors, which means your kids can't fly out. You can put your dogs back here, you can roll the sides up, you can do whatever you want to do. But this is just a cool, unique truck that no one else has. So again, to recap, here we have a 2005 Mercedes G270 IFAB, Interim Fast Attack Vehicle. Look it up in the Marine Corps, they had a lot of these. You can see they use these, I'm not going to say where they used them, but anyway, it's just a cool truck. We're going to take some time, we're going to finish this up, button up some details, we're going to shoot a follow-up video as we complete this and find a home for the other one and get a build going on that one. Joe Gocher, Alliance Auto Care, nothing but G's. We've got some cool, unique stuff and more good stuff on the way.